There's a moment in every story where the mask slips, where the spin stops working, where the half-truths, the quiet manipulations, the backroom deals, all of it collapses under the weight of its own lies. This isn't drama. This is math. The numbers don't lie. The evidence doesn't bend. The outcomes don't negotiate. And neither do you. This is Mind Chief. For those who see what's coming. For those who know the game is up. For those who refuse to play by rules that were never meant to work in their favor. The reckoning is here. Let's start with the hard truth. The narrative they've been selling? It's over. No more reframing the story to make it palatable. No more softening the blows to keep the peace. No more pretending that intentions matter more than results. Because here's what actually happens when the spin stops. The truth doesn't just emerge. It erupts. And the people who thought they could rewrite the rules, they're the ones left holding the pieces of a game they lost before they even knew they were playing. This isn't about one person. This is about a pattern, a system, a cycle of deception that relies on your silence, your compliance, your willingness to look the other way. But that cycle, it's broken. And the consequences? They're here. They thought they could have it both ways. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Promise progress while stalling. Manipulate the circumstances instead of doing the work. And for a while it worked. The delays, the confusion, the silence, it all created just enough cover to avoid consequences. But covers get pulled back. Silence gets shattered. And delays? They just postpone the inevitable. Because the truth doesn't wait. It arrives. And when it does, it doesn't ask for permission. It demands accountability. Think of it like a house of cards. They've been building it for years. Layer by layer, lie by lie, excuse by excuse. And then one gust of wind, one moment of clarity, one refusal to play along. And just like that, the whole thing collapses. Not because you fought it, but because you stopped holding it up. This is where the anxiety lifts. Not because the truth is easier than the lies, but because uncertainty is worse than reality ever could be. Sleepless nights ease when reality replaces imagination. Doubt fades when evidence replaces excuses. Fear dissolves when action replaces inaction. And the momentum? It shifts. Not in the direction they planned. Not in the way they hoped. But in the way it was always going to go once the interference stopped. This isn't about one person's victory. It's about a movement of people who refuse to accept the status quo. The ones who see the manipulation for what it is. The ones who know that accountability isn't a punishment, it's a necessity. The ones who understand that justice isn't revenge, it's alignment. And the best part, you're no longer required to participate in the cleanup. What's exposed next is the manipulation, the half-truths, the quiet attempts to control outcomes without taking responsibility, the orchestration from behind the scenes, all while trying to come out looking clean. But here's the problem with that plan. They underestimated the timing. They underestimated the visibility. And they definitely underestimated you. When the truth starts to unfold, it doesn't stop at one lie. It exposes them all. The recognition they hoped for? Hollow. The approval they craved? Fading. The applause they demanded? Silent. Because the foundation was never solid. And now, the whole thing is crumbling. This is the consequence phase. Calm. Precise. Unavoidable. And the choice is simple now. Move forward with honesty and integrity. Or resist and lose what remains. There is no middle ground left. No gray area to hide in. No negotiation to be had. What's meant to stay will stay. What can't be justified will fall away. And you're no longer negotiating your worth. You're watching the results speak for themselves. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to defend what you know. You don't need to chase validation. Because the truth doesn't need your help. It just needs you to stand there and watch it unfold. This is what happens when the truth stops negotiating. The games end. The masks drop. The real work begins. And you're free. Not because the battle is over, but because you finally see it for what it is. A test, a lesson, a setup for something greater than you ever imagined. The reckoning is here. The truth is out. And the choice, it was always yours. So here's the question. Are you ready to step into what comes next? Then stand firm. Trust the process. And watch the results unfold. Make sure you're subscribed before you head out. See you in the next one.